It is the launch of Breaking the Barriers podcast. I am your co-host, Adam Benz, alongside with the Mr. Vice Mayor, my co-host, David Crosier. Croge, how you doing today?
I'm grumpy.
Why are you grumpy?
I'm grumpy because it's hot, I'm fat, and I don't like to sweat. I am more excited than a dog pooping peach seeds out in the backyard. I am excited that we're doing the launch of Breaking the Barrier. I've been excited for this. My poor wife has heard me talk about this, and I've just been really excited to get this underway. I've got a smoke. I got my stogie in my hand. I got a full cup of coffee in my Undertaker mug. The wrestling character, not the profession.
Well, that's good.
Make sure, because
that's good.
some people that listen may not be wrestling fans like we are, and we might throw some wrestling terms in there. And if we do, we will make sure we give you a adequate explanation of what that is. Adam and I are both what they call marks for the wrestling business. We love watching it, even though sometimes it's a little silly.
My girlfriend knows that very well, how much I enjoy wrestling.
Yeah, my wife knows that too, and she just shakes her head. God love her heart. God love her heart.
Hey, speaking of which, did you happen to change your underwear? Last time I checked, you had holes in your underwear.
Oh, I always have holes in my underwear. That's my church underwear.
Oh, no, maybe it was. I'm sorry, it wasn't holes
There's
in
my
your
church
underwear.
the underwears in my holes are my church underwear. They're holy. Ha, ha, ha. Crappy joke Wednesday. I was going to say Thursday. Crappy joke Wednesday.
I think what it was last week when we did our preview was you had underwear that was older than me, older than my age. That's what it was.
Oh, that's what it was. No, I am excited. You put the preview, and I say you because all that technological stuff, that's all you, brother. I sound like Hulk Hogan, brother. All that technological stuff is you.
And Hulk Hogan's a wrestler, by the way. In case
he's a wrestler. I think even most novice people know Hulk Hogan. But, you put that up, Monday? And got 500, 600, 700 views on it.
Yeah, as of right now, as we're recording, there was over 700 views.
And that's good. I mean, for two guys that probably have no business doing this stuff, knowing how to do this stuff, I think that's pretty good just for a trial run. I hope we put something out there that people enjoy, that people get some information off of, and God forbid, makes people smile. You know me, Adam. You know my philosophy on life. Life does not have to be a slow march toward death. You can laugh in life. You can make fun of yourself, and there's a few people I'll make fun of along the way, but, you can do that stuff, and it's okay. And that's what I hope we can accomplish with this.
Well, with this in mind, we want to remind the listeners that are listening to us, it's going to be published, that is, every Thursday going forward. Not just like the first Thursday of the month. It's going to be every Thursday throughout the entire month and going forward. So just a reminder of when it's going to be launched, each episode, that is going to be every Thursday. And I've been getting comments and questions. And speaking, I'll get back to the comments part. I've been getting questions. And where can you can tell me better, what email can you send us questions to?
Website at thevirginianreview.com. Make sure when you type that in that it's the Virginian Review.
Not virginiareview.com, otherwise you're going to get a blank green screen.
Yeah, and that might be a porn screen. At one point, whitehouse.com was like a porn site.
Wow.
Yeah, a friend told me.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's what it was. A friend of a friend?
A friend of a friend, because, I'm a historical buff. And,
right.
A friend told me that anyhow, told me not to go there because, I'm young and innocent.
But that's thevirginiareview.com. Look at the screen right now. Write it down. And that's another thing. Just because we're talking doesn't mean that there isn't anything going to be showing to you on the video screen. There's going to be a whole bunch of stuff that's going to be shown to you.
Yeah, you butthole. The preview, you put a picture of a jackass of me when I was talking.
It was perfect. You said, I don't know why I'm so misunderstood. It was just a perfect setup.
Oh, my God, you jackass. You put a jackass. Oh, my God. Of course, my wife loved that, and I think some other people agreed with it. But that's a whole different story. You'll
see pictures and stills just like that. Maybe not just of a donkey being shown. But,
thank you.
But anyways, not calling you a donkey or anything.
I get called worse than that usually before I get out of bed.
But you'll see like the virginiareview.com, which you'll see on the screen. That'll show for you all to write down real quick. Send us comments for things or questions that you want us to talk about. We usually go off of that's something I'll look into. If that's a big topic discussion for the following week, I'll look into that and research that so we can ask Crosier those questions and we'll get comments out of it. Otherwise, one of the questions I've been asked is, when will the show be aired? Meaning, like, when's it going to be dropped? And I mentioned it's going to be Thursdays, every Thursdays. No specific time. I'm going to look at dropping it around the afternoon. Give people a chance to log on to Facebook at lunchtime. Facebook. Not fake book or fake butt, as you said on
fake
the preview.
Butt, Insta Pop, Insta Snap, whatever that stuff.
And that's another plug right there to look at your screen right now for thevirginianreview.com. Go on to Facebook and Instagram as well. And Twitter. Don't forget Twitter.
Yeah. Oh, you'll be happy. You'll be proud of me.
What, did you send a tweet?
I'm a twit.
You have a Twitter account?
I have a Twitter account. I'm officially a twit.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm officially a twit as of last night. I was sitting on the front porch. The wife and I was out there having our evening, together time. And I said, well, if we're going to talk about this tweeting Twitter stuff, I'm going to become one. So I am officially a twit.
Now, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Virginia Review has a Twitter account. I know Sports does. Sports does.
One of the things that we want to do eventually, and that's going to be on you because I barely set one up for me, and I had to get my 14-year-old to help me. But we're going to have Twitter eventually, and here soon. Once we get all the logistics worked out, we're going to upload this to iTunes. So, and I know from listening to wrestling podcasts, they will drop automatically. Once you subscribe to us, once we get to iTunes and you subscribe, it will automatically download to your device every Thursday.
Yeah, because you do that with some of the wrestling podcasts.
I do that with all of them, yeah. And then I'll get a notification on my phone that a new one's dropped, and my evening is made.
Now, just to clarify, we're not just going to go to iTunes. We're going to keep everything still on Facebook, YouTube, thevirginiareview.com.
iTunes is just another way for people to get a hold of it. We're trying to make this as accessible because people with Android devices and Apple devices, and some people don't use devices, they use computers. So we want to make sure this is as accessible. And eventually it's going to be on our website at virginianreview.com.
The Virginian Review. Not VirginianReview.com. The VirginianReview.com.
I'm glad you're here to keep me in
mind.
And
look at that again at the still. I'm going to make sure that it says not VirginianReview.com, but the VirginianReview.com.
And when you get there, once you get there, like I said in the preview, you don't have to subscribe to this.
This is going to be free.
This is going to be a free deal. But once you get to the website, take a look at what we do there. Not only is all 3 editions each week in full.
Almost spilled your coffee.
Don't you spill the coffee. If you watch NCIS, that's a capital offense. And you can get a Gibbs slap upside the head for spilling my coffee. On our website, do you have all 3 editions each week in full? And you pull it up. If you've got a computer, it makes it really nice. You can pull it up. You can hit a button. It'll flip the page like you're reading it. But every single day, 7 days a week, Adam, even though we only publish Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday in print, 7 days a week, there are articles, there are obituaries, there are notices posted on our website.
And there's always something different on the website.
There's something different
that you can't get in the paper.
And you can't get in the paper. Everything that's in the paper is on the website. What we try to do is, especially the obituaries, is we keep up with the local funeral homes, and 7 days a week, as soon as we get them, obituaries are posted on our website. You have to have a subscription to get into them, but on the obituaries, it will at least give you the name and service information so you can contact that funeral home for further information. But we're trying to make as much as we can available. That's why we've got this podcast. We're trying to make news. We're trying to give news in a different way. I know people are out driving. I know when I'm driving, I like to put my earphones in. Well, one earphone in because it's illegal for 2. And I'm all about being legal. Even though I'm sitting here and I met the governor today and I'm wearing marijuana socks. But,
which we'll talk about in a few
yeah,
minutes.
I'm wearing my official pot socks. I wore my pot socks for when I got to see the President of the United States back in the spring, and I figured I'd wear my pot socks when I got to see the governor. But that being said, we're trying to present news in this format for people who want it in a little different way. There are things that are happening in the area that we're going to talk about, that we're going to go into detail about, and you're going to get it directly from the horse's mouth.
And speaking of thevirginreview.com, what a following it has.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can talk more about the following that it has. I mean, if you've seen from just the previews from Facebook and getting into more of a social media aspect, and that's something that I told you that the paper needed. I know you hate the word social media, but look, as you've seen from Facebook and the views that we've gotten from just the preview alone, that's already a huge hit.
Every month on the website itself, we average roughly 75,000 unique viewers. Now, that's 75,000 different IP addresses, for a sum total of anywhere between 350 and 400,000 total page views on our website every month.
And that's phenomenal.
We've got subscribers in Asia. We've got them in Europe. We've got them spread all across the country. Who would have thunk that a small town could have that kind of reach? I think it's phenomenal.
And it does. It's very phenomenal.
It's phenomenal.
And now we're expanding on it with not only the podcast, but Facebook, Instagram, the Virginian, Twitter, and then our YouTube account that we'll be making as well.
We're going to be a twit too.
Yes, the Virginia Review will have its own Twitter account.
If you want to message me on Twitter, my twit name is DS Crosier.
Okay, so don't forget it's at.
Oh, I forgot
DS
that.
Crosier.
You have to have a little at sign.
Yes.
At DS Crosier. A lot of stuff that I post on Facebook, which isn't usually of the political realm. Usually it's just some kind of a joke or silliness, but it's connected to where if I post it on Facebook...
Nothing could be more sillier than you mowing your lawn naked or gardening naked.
No. Gardening naked.
Gardening naked, excuse me.
Oh, no. I ain't mowing no grass naked. Whoa. That'll chafe something.
Well, speaking of, you mentioned the governor. The governor was in town.
He was here at lunchtime at the farmers market in Covington. I thought it was nice. I thought it was a really nice event. It was hot, and we've already established I don't like hot, but I got to hang out with my buddies Alan Tucker and Raymond Hunter, and the mayor, who was being all mayoral and doing his... he's a good representative for us. I'm glad we have him. I got to hang out with... Alan and Raymond and the city manager, and we had a good time.
And of course, governor comes in just before something's going on here in town.
Yeah, what we had today was he brought in for a grant for the Alleghany Highlands Economic Development Corporation, to which I'm vice chair. And we'll talk more about the EDC, I'm sure, later on. But the EDC is a awesome organization. They've got an awesome staff with Marla and Terry, who are working their tails off. They do the main part of the work. Just because Greg Madsen is the chair and I'm vice chair and we've got a board and all that, they're the ones who are trying to bring in small business. They're trying to work with existing business, and I'm always I guess you'd call me a positive cynic. I try to think positive, but I'm also very cynical. But they are really... This grant today was $45,000 to go toward small business development.
Now, this is going to be in the paper for tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
Is that correct?
It'll be in Thursday's Virginian Review. Gavin Dressler, our awesome photographer, and Daryl Gleason, who is our state editor, they were there on location, and it will be covered really good in the paper tomorrow. So you want to make sure you read that, and you can get all the nuances. But basically, the grant was for small business development. There's a competition. We just got involved with it this year. It's called the Gauntlet, and it's a business creation competition. You go in, you submit business plans. You not only compete for prizes to help you start your business, but they teach you how to be a small business entrepreneur. Speaking of that, if you look in Tuesday's Virginian Review, on the front page, one of the winners of the gauntlet is featured on the front page. Jackson River Outfitters. If you haven't seen this, go to our website at thevirginianreview.com or pick up a copy and read the story that's in Tuesday's edition. Young couple, Corey and Caitlin Peters, they have started this business from the ground up, and basically what they do is they do bike rentals and bike repairs for the Jackson River Scenic Trail. Now, I applaud their initiative, but you will not see my fat butt on a bike. It's kind of like running. I tell people all the time, if you see me running, you better run too, because stuff's getting ready to go down. But they do a great job. I've heard from several people who've told me themselves that they have reached out to Caitlin and Corey, and they love them. If you get a chance, give them a call. Find out what, if you're into that type of thing, they will drop you off and you can ride, and they'll pick you up and take you back to your cars. And it's a great thing they're doing. Their phone number, if you want to give them a call, is 540-958-6655. Give them a call. They do a great job. But this is one of the company business like Corey and Caitlin have, Jackson River Outfitters, is one of the things that this grant we got today will go to support. It will support through the gauntlet and through these initiatives that the EDC is working on to create small business, because that's what's going to, the governor said himself today that we need to diversify our economy. And this is probably more than you wanted in the initial question, and I can't remember what you asked at this point, but
that doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me. What day is it?
Today's Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday. Okay.
Well, anyways, if you could enlighten us, because there are
You're
people
trying to keep me moving on.
No,
right?
no.
And I have to apologize, Adam. I'm getting over the crud. So if you hear me hack, you hear me cough, I had a little, we'll just say I had the crud, and I'm still trying to get over it. So I don't know if you can edit the coughs out, but if you can't, it is who I am. So,
but anyways, enlighten us a little bit more. Does that mean that there's going to be more small town businesses coming in on Main Street?
We hope so. A lot of what Marla, Terry, Gail, a lot of those folks with the EDC work on is finding people who are already here. Finding people who maybe, and I'll give you a prime example, Teresa McCoy, down on Main Street, Covington, Cakes Your Way. She worked it for years out of her home, and she is a phenomenal. Oh,
they have phenomenal cookies.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, good stuff. And from a fat guy, I can tell you, I know good pastries and good confectionery creations. I know a good one, I know a bad one.
And maybe you can get us a box of something tomorrow.
I might do that Friday.
Okay.
August the 10th is the newspaper's 104th birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, 104 years.
104 years.
104
Review.
years. Yeah, Daryl Gleason was 6 when they started the newspaper. Because Daryl's old.
Yes.
Yeah, Daryl's old. He was like 6 years old or so when the Byrne family created the Virginian Review. But no, we've got a birthday, and I might just do that for our birthday.
That sounds wonderful.
I might just do that. But Teresa, to get back to what
chocolate chip cookies, but
there you go.
That's what I.
And they've got great coffee, espressos, that type of stuff. But to get back to what you were asking, Teresa did it from her home. She worked with the EDC. The EDC helped her establish a business plan. Now she's got her own place on Main Street, doing really well from what I understand.
Right across the street from the post office.
Right from the post office. The back of the building is the Alleghany Foundation. She's in the front facing Main Street. Doing a great job. But that's what these type of grants and this type of funding goes toward, is to help a small business owner take their dreams to the next level. And I was tickled. I mean, I didn't figure the governor would come for something like that, but I was really, really impressed that he came and he spoke to people, and it was a good time.
And the amount that you said that he's granting,
$45,000.
$45,000. Did you know that in advance, or was that a big surprise?
we had an idea that's what it was, because I think that's what we asked for. You know, we sort of hoped and figured that that's what it was going to be.
I'm glad that we've talked about this in the fact that the governor has granted the city of Covington $45,000, because that's going to be our main event of the day.
Oh, the main event.
That's something we're going to be talking about during the main event
of
our first podcast, the creme de la creme that they say.
The creme de la creme of local podcasts.
The main event.
Actually, are we the only ones that got a local podcast?
I believe so.
Okay, but we're still the creme de creme.
Yes,
then.
we're the first of the bunch. We are the
first, yes. Everybody else will be cheap imitators.
And speaking of other things that are going on here in Covington week.
There's a lot.
Not only did the governor come today.
And we got a birthday Friday.
Yep, the Virginia Review 104th birthday, as you mentioned.
Yep.
And also Street Scene.
Street Scene, yes. 40th annual Street Scene. It is way older than I am.
Yeah, I mean, you're only 25.
I'm only 25. I was born in 1993. Do the math.
Yes.
But Street Scene is coming. I hope that if you haven't already, you looked in Saturday's edition. There was a special section on the 40th anniversary of Street Scene.
And before you keep going right there, if you did not pick up a copy, they're not in stores right now. They're not at gas stations. But where can you get one besides thevirginiareview.com? Where can you pick up a copy?
As far as this particular special section, go by and see Eddie Clemens at Clemens Tire and Auto. We had extra copies that we printed for him that he has to distribute to people who come to town. Go by and see Eddie. Eddie is a great guy, chairman of the school board. He has worked hard for our kids. He is one of the 2 charter members left in Cars Unlimited that puts on Street Scene. But if you didn't get one and you want a hard copy of it, because it's going to be a nice collector's item that you'll want to look at in 40 more years when we do the 80th, because I'll be here then. I'll be 65 then. Go by and see Eddie and get a copy. Talk to Eddie and thank him for what Cars Unlimited and Street Scene has meant to downtown. I think they're hoping for 300 cars this year. Everything starts Friday. It's going to be down at the pool. It's called Pre-Street Scene Cruise In and Pool Party. So you can go down there and swim and bring your car down there and hang out and just have a good time. Registration Saturday begins at 7 a.m. If you have a car. Now, I've got an antique truck, but I still drive it to work every day. So I don't think that, with the big dent in the side of it, I don't think that would qualify for entrant into Street Scene.
Now, since it's the 40th anniversary, is there anything bigger going on that hasn't happened in like the last few years? Like anything different?
Not really different. It's just it's really a celebration of 40 consistent years. They do a great job every year. It's hard. It would be hard for them to top what they do each year because they do such good stuff. And it's not just Street Scene that Cars Unlimited does. It's good stuff. We're talking about Street Scene now. Street Scene's 10 to 4 Saturday, starting at 6 over at the Jackson River Sports Complex. For those of you who don't know where that is, it's the old AET ballpark. Now, Alan Dressler doesn't like it called that, but some people don't know it's Jackson River Sports Complex. But there's going to bring your cars, though the Street Scene entrants who bring their cars to the complex will be entered for cash drawings. There's going to be a band, English Channel, 60s and 70s British rock. I'm looking forward to that, mainly because every week when they have bands, I can sit on my porch and listen to it. At the end of the night, there's going to be fireworks. So it's going to be a big, big day Saturday for Cars Unlimited and the city of Covington. Like I say, with festivities beginning the night before, Cars Unlimited does a lot of stuff throughout the year that a lot of people don't know. They do cruise-ins all the time. There's one coming up, I believe it's the 17th of August, is their next cruise-in at Tractor Supply.
And that's the Highland Center, correct?
Yeah, at the Highland Center. It's not Mallow Mall anymore, but at Tractor Supply. These folks go and set up, and they raise funds each time for a different person in need. This time it's for a little fella, I believe he's about 3 years old, Caleb Ward, battling leukemia. And these folks are going to be raising funds for that fella. They do this all the time, though. Every time they do a cruise in at the mall, at Tractor Supply, those funds go somewhere else. Those funds don't stay with them to go and eat or anything else. They're always doing something for somebody else. So my hat is off to Cars Unlimited and everything they do for us, and looking forward to Street Scene Saturday. I will probably come out of hibernation Saturday long enough to walk through and speak to people and swelter in the heat, but it's well worth it. It's well worth coming out of my air-conditioned hibernation to go and congratulate these folks.
A reminder, you're listening to Breaking the Barrier, our very first podcast. The first one was just a preview, and this is our first episode of Breaking the Barrier. You're listening to Adam Benz and the Vice Mayor of Covington, David Crosier. We are talking about the governor being here in the city of Covington today, as well as Street Scene, the 40th anniversary, and the 104th birthday to the Virginia Review newspaper. And we're going to talk more about that next week in next week's podcast as the birthday surpasses. Talk to Crosier a little bit more about the birthday celebration for the Virginia Review newspaper and some of the history behind the paper. But that's next week. I think it's now time for the main event.
The main event, okay.
Why we're here in general.
Now, you need to tell those folks that I don't know what you're going to ask.
He does not know a clue what I'm going to ask him about. And that's going to be the same thing for every single week. There's going to be one topic, and he's not going to have an idea what that topic is. And it's because I want to catch him off guard. I don't want to give him time to think about it. I want him to just straight shoot it to me.
I straight shoot everything.
Well,
ask Mayor Tom Seibold about me straight shooting. He cringes every time I open my mouth.
Don't you straight shoot at a council meeting?
Oh, yeah. I straight shoot at council meetings, family reunions, church socials, you name it. I just say, I guess as you get older, you lose your filter. And I was never blessed with much of one to begin with. You know, the older you get, the more it's just in the mind, out the mouth. And we were sitting there, a funny story, we were sitting there today, and I made some kind of off-color comment. I know, go figure. And Tommy told and I got to see my awesome, cool, wonderful friend, Carl Brinkley, the mayor of Clifton Forge today. I hadn't seen Carl in a while. Fortunately, we have these events, and I get to see folks from Clifton that I don't get to see very often. Love those folks down there. Carl he's me in Clifton Forge. I mean, he is, there it is, good. He's going to tell you what it's like. Carl's had some health issues, and we pray for him. But he is one tough son of a gun. But we were sitting there today, and I'd made some kind of off-color comment. Tommy turns to Carl and explains to him why he had to move me at council meetings to right beside him. He said, I don't know what he's going to say. So, there you go. I mean, you don't know. I don't know what Adam's going to ask, and I pray for forgiveness beforehand. While we're sending out shout-outs, want to send one out to Stephanie Clark. I don't know if you ever met Stephanie before, have you? She served on council for 12 years. She was Covington's first black female city council person and the first black mayor of Covington. She had a heart attack. Stephanie is Stephanie. She is probably in the hospital right now singing to him. She had a stent put in, and from what I understand, she is doing much, much better. So Stephanie, if you're listening to this, and I hope you are, we love you. Get back soon. She would sit in a meeting and just start singing right in the middle of a council meeting. And it wouldn't surprise me while they were doing the stent if she didn't sing some song to them while they were doing
brighten up someone's day.
Brighten up someone's day, and that's just who Stephanie is. But so I guess I can't prolong this anymore. We got the main event.
The main event, the creme de la creme. This building opened up a store back in 1976, and it closed in mid-March 2016 in the Mallow Mall, or known now as the Highland Center. And in a span of 16 years, from 2000 to 2016, Kmart closed 1,186 stores, including Covington's. Again, they closed in mid-March 2016. A lot of questions that I get asked for the last several years. What is going on with that building?
I wish I knew. There's always going to be rumor and innuendo.
Yes.
There was rumor and innuendo that Target was coming and that Big Lots was coming and some other stores that I'd never heard of that other people had, and they said, oh, we hear that's coming, that's going to be great.
Especially Big Lots. It seemed like it'd be the perfect fit for the area.
That's a huge, huge building. The thing that got me, when it opened, Kmart came, what'd you say, in 77?
1976.
76. Or before that was a store called Grants. Grants, Grants. Way before my time. But it was there in that building before. That is a massive building. I miss Kmart. I liked Kmart. But unfortunately, it's kind of like Sears on Main Street here in Covington. When corporate decides it's going to do something, it does it. I have not heard, outside of rumor and innuendo, and I don't know if there is a definitive plan for it, mainly because of the massive size of the building. We get told a lot of times, say, example, for a Target. We've tried to lure in big chains like that. We've tried to lure in restaurants around this area, the Cracker Barrel type of facilities. And we're always told that we don't have the market. If you're a marketing person, you might understand that the marketing gurus in these companies say we don't have the market to sustain it. I cry BS on that, especially with the Kmart building. Kmart is right there at the interstate. A restaurant right there at the interstate, even though it is in the county. Now, rumor and innuendo, when Kmart shut down, Covington got the blame for it, of course. But when a place like that shuts down, not only does it affect the tax base in the county, because that's where it's located, there were people that were put out of jobs. And those were city people that were put out of jobs. So one thing to always understand when we have discussions about this or anything else economic development related is we're all tied in together. Yeah, we may be Covington right here. Kmart may have been in the county. You got Clifton Forge, but something that happens in Clifton Forge affects us up here. But I really wish I knew. I know it's been marketed heavily, trying to get something in there, but a lot of it is the massive size of it and finding a store that can accommodate that huge size.
And the reason why I brought up Kmart, the Kmart building in this first episode is I always get asked or told there's nothing to do in Covington. There's no shops. There's nothing like that. There's nothing that brings in people. That's why I want to get down to the bottom line. Why, what's going on there? What is there anything going in there? Why can't the city bring in something, or why can't they bring in, like you said, a Cracker Barrel or a Big Lots, a Target? Because if you think about it, you have the people coming in from West Virginia. You have the traffic coming in there, traffic coming in, going to Roanoke, going to Clifton Forge, you name it. There's always going to be traffic coming in and out. So why can't stores like that come in? What does it take to bring them in?
A lot of it, what takes is money. It takes a phenomenal, now, when it comes to smaller restaurants, for example, a fast food chain or whatever, you can bring one in, but you've got to buy the franchise. So you need somebody with some deep pockets that, and sometimes these companies want some kind of economic incentive from the locality. There's a lot of reasons. It's not usually it's not just one thing or another. That building is still in good shape, from what I understand. From what I hear, the building is still in good shape. You take the old Kroger building in Covington. It closed in 2007. It is not in good shape. So we have had a heck of a time trying to lure somebody in there because they'll look at the building and realize the building is basically shot. A lot of roof issues, and if you don't, and I know from the roof here on this building, being responsible for it, you got to stay on that stuff all the time. And building that is set empty for 11 years, 10 years, 11 years, 07, 08, I get my times mixed up now, but over that long a period of time without any maintenance whatsoever, you're going to have issues. So, I would think the Kmart building would be a prime location to bring somebody in. And that's one of the things that with the EDC, and we'll go back to them real quick, they are the ones that are always in the front line of the ones doing the marketing for those businesses. And they try everything. A lot of times these corporate entities know more about your area than you do. I mean, because they didn't become a Target didn't become a multi-billion-dollar organization by being stupid. They have done their market research. So a lot of times they know more about shopping trends and things like that than we do. I think a lot of concern with a lot of these companies is the trends show that even though a Target might be well received, there's a lot of people that leave the area to go shop. And I can't blame them. I mean, the wife and I periodically, a couple times a year, we'll go over to Roanoke and we'll go to our favorite restaurant and, kind of look around and just to get out of town. Sometimes and retail in general has taken a huge hit thanks to the internet, thanks to Amazon, thanks to online shopping, which has made it. Did you know that you can buy groceries online now on Amazon?
Yes.
I did not know that you can buy groceries on Amazon and they will ship to your house. But that right there is what puts a pinch on a lot of these brick and mortar buildings with retail, is people want to go and get out of town for a little bit, or they go to West Virginia, or they go to Roanoke, or what have you, or they're buying it online.
And that's the thing, you also have to be careful with buying online because you don't know how fresh the product you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're buying groceries,
I think a big thing with the online grocery shopping is the staples, the non-perishables is what a lot of people get. Their paper products, their canned stuff. Yeah. Once again, and I love Amazon's from the devil. Amazon is from the devil because I could spend my week's paycheck on Amazon.
Especially if you have a subscription, free shipping.
If you have Prime, my gosh. But I try to buy local as much as possible, but I'll be very honest with you. I am a tall, big guy. There are not any places in the Alleghany Highlands that serve, now that Rooklands is out of business, now that Rooklands doesn't have clothes, there is no place for a tall, fat guy to buy clothes. It is what it is. I can go to Walmart and get a shirt, but if I want pants that fit, if I want something a little bit dressier, I've got to order online or go other places.
Go to Roanoke.
Or go to Roanoke or what have you. I try to buy it in person because I've got a 38-inch sleeve length. And, sometimes buying online, you don't know what size you're getting. But for a lot of reasons, that's why people are going. But Targets and Big Lots and all these, they know those trends. They know where people go. It's kind of like Big Brother out watching you. These companies have done their research to know that, it might be well received, but how well will it be supported, over a period of time? And that's the biggest hurdle that the EDC and government officials and all of us have had over a long period of time trying to get. And that's why the big focus now is on small business. You get a niche business like a Cakes Your Way or Jackson River Outfitters, and that fills a niche because there are a lot of folks who love the Jackson River Scenic Trail. Once it gets cool, I plan on going out there. This fat guy don't like snakes. So if you want to see a fat guy move, you want to see this fat guy
put
move.
a snake in front of you.
Put a snake in front of me, and I'll be Jesse Owens, man. I can run then. But that's why now our focus is not only because we got West Rock, it's our biggest employer. And on an individual level, I can't thank them enough for what they do for us. My dad worked there for years. The mill put me and my siblings through college. They do a great job. We just had an announcement within the past month or two. Schaefer Rolls is coming over to the old AET property. It's called Rail Over River.
Which is right across from AET.
Which is right across from the Jackson River Sports Complex. Yeah. So that facility is now coming back to life. But it takes time.
But it's been almost 2.5 years now. Is that building anywhere close to getting something in?
As far as I know, no. I mean, and if I'm speaking and there is something, somebody message me. Call me and tell me I'm wrong, and I'll be the first to admit it. Adam will tell you. When I'm wrong, I'll admit it. As far as I know, there's nothing in the works right now for that building.
And that's the biggest question and hurdle that a lot of people have asked me is, what's going on with that building? They've been asking that since it closed. The rumor innuendo of Target.
People were asking that before it closed. There were people asking me when the announcement was made that the building was that Kmart was going out. Well, what's going to be used for? I don't know.
And I remember that building having a restaurant in it.
Oh, it had a great restaurant. It was just a nice store. The thing with them, though, they were on life support for years. I mean, it had been rumored 10 years before that Kmart was closing. So the fact that we had it 8-10 years longer than was originally expected was huge in and of itself. But
well, like I said, back in 2016, after Covington's closed, they only had about a little over 900 Kmart stores in the country.
And Kmart was the place to be, man. Before Walmart came here, that was where you did your Christmas shopping. Kmart was a big deal. I think Walmart gets a lot of bad rap for running businesses out. Walmart itself doesn't run a business out. Lack of support runs a business out. There's a lot of people I heard when Kroger closed that Kroger was put out by Walmart. No, Walmart didn't put Kroger out. People not supporting Kroger put Kroger out. And that's what it comes down to. We can bring businesses in left and right, but if we don't get local support, and that's no matter in one of those buildings down at the Highland Center or here in Covington or Clifton Forge or wherever, we can only coerce and get them in. There has to be local support. I like Food Line. Now, I don't know if anybody's been in Food Line that's listening to this since they renovated. They're doing a heck of a job. Oh, my gosh. But you got to support them. And a lot of times I try to go and support Food Line as much as I support Walmart. It makes it easier. If you go to Walmart, if you got to pick up your medicine and get, you can't go to Food Line and pick up your medicine and some antifreeze and your groceries at the same time. You just can't at Food Line. But Food Line has so much. It's a different atmosphere now than what it was, and it's a different atmosphere than Walmart. But I think Walmart gets a lot of bad rap for a lot of, they're in business. They're in business to make money. But you can't blame them for their business practice when a lot of the people who were fussing about Kroger, well, when's the last time you went in Kroger? Well, I hadn't been in there in years. I go to Walmart. Okay, well, if you don't support it, it's going to go.
And that's what happened
because
with Kmart.
Kroger's in business to make money. Kmart was in business. Now, Kmart in general, I think the local Kmart did okay with making money. They still had good support. I think it was a corporate level with Kmart. More of a corporate level is why they closed. But with Kroger had done the research. Kroger had the market research and knew that a lot of people would go to the Daleville Kroger on their way back from Roanoke,
right,
and not go to this one, because every time you take that Kroger card and you swipe it or you put your phone number in, they know where you shopped at, so they can track all that stuff, and they can track it all the way and know where people were going. And at that time they knew that people weren't going to this one for whatever reason.
That's the great thing about those cards for any place, really. It's knowing where you're going, so you can get a demographic of what part is doing well, what's not doing well.
Right.
But that's the creme de la creme of today's episode. The main event was what's going on with these buildings. Was there anything in store that's going to be brought in? And Crosier has answered that for us.
I hope I've answered it. And like I say, if there's something going on that I don't know, I'll be more than happy to next week.
And where can they email you?
You can email me at website at thevirginianreview.com. If you have a question about anything going on in the area, feel free to send us an email. You can send us a message through Facebook. I called it correctly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Facebook.
a first.
If you're watching this on Facebook, send us a message if you have a question.
Yeah, give us a comment in the comment section below.
Make a comment on the comment section. We do look at those, and we want to make a show that is something y'all want to listen to. So.
And then I thought that was a great first topic, was what's going on with that building. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of people ask.
Well, and that building, and once again, that building is tied into a lot of economic development efforts. Everything is intertwined. It's like if you learned it in college, or if you ever heard of systems theory. Systems theory states that one part of a system is intermingled with another part of the system. So something happens in one area, in this area, for example, something happens with one building, it affects all of us. Something happens with one business, we bring in an industry, it affects all of us. That building down there, that is part of a overall larger economic development scheme that the EDC and local governments are working to fix, I guess you'd say. We didn't get in this place overnight. It took 20, 30 years to get us to where we were at, I'd say, in 2010, 2011, 2012. And we can go over that in another show. That's another topic for a whole nother show. But there are a lot of people who have worked hard over these past 6, 7, 8 years to get us to where we are now. And we are not as bad off now as we were then. Think about some of the stuff we do have now that we didn't have then. And there are a lot of things behind the scenes. But send us a message. If you have a question, you don't understand something we talked about today, feel free to email us. And
what's the email again?
Website at thevirginianreview.com. You just wanted to see if I could say it right 3 times.
That's right. Or just send us a comment below in the comments section as well as on the email. Either one works. And send us a topic that you might want me to talk or not just me talk about, but Crosier to answer. Send us a topic you want that should be talked about on this show and let me know, and I will do my research.
And I promise you, no topic is off limits.
You heard it from him.
You may not like the answer, but be careful what question you ask, because I will answer.
I'm only the questionnaire. I only ask the questions. You're the answerer.
Yes, and I have no problem if somebody takes the time to ask a question. I have no problem in giving an answer. So, I mean, it's wide open, folks.
Well, that's all the time we have for our first edition of Breaking the Barrier podcast. We hope you enjoyed listening to it throughout. We hope you stuck with us throughout this whole episode.
Yeah, my coffee's cold.
Your coffee's cold, and it's getting late.
We got a paper to put out.
Yes. So we hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you next week. Because again, I won't tell Crosier what the topic is.
Rock on.
That's for me to know and for him to find out while we're recording.
Rock
so
on.
Again, we hope you enjoyed our episode. For David Crosier, I'm Adam Benz, signing off from the very first edition of Breaking the Barrier.